this year we're handing out popcorn and some vegan lollipops. Well, the popcorn is also vegan. And I was really, really excited to hand out the popcorn because I love popcorn so much. And I am extremely proud of myself because I managed to keep the boxes closed for the 2 weeks that they sat in our house before today, before Halloween. Which isn't to say that I didn't eat any popcorn, because I was very envious of our future trick-or-treaters, and I made some sweet and spicy popcorn balls that we ate in like 2 days. The whole batch in like 2 days. Not so proud of that, but it was very, very tasty, so I'm going to share the recipe with you. And honestly, it's quite simple. We simply popped some popcorn in the hot air popper. I measured out some pumpkin seeds and some cayenne pepper and chili powder, some salt and some sugar, and set those aside. And then in a pot, I melted some butter with some brown sugar and some agave syrup. You could use corn syrup if you want. I'm not a huge fan, so I used agave. I simmered that on the stove until it got thick enough that it coated the back of my spatula. Then I added some baking powder and half of my spicy mix. I never actually added the other half because I found that that was the perfect amount of spice. But for people who like it spicier, you might want to add more at the end after it's all mixed up together. You can taste it and see how you feel and decide then if you want it to have a little bit more heat. I blended that up until it was nice and creamy, and then I poured it into my popcorn along with the pumpkin seeds. And then I mixed that up until most of the popcorn was really well coated. I poured the popcorn out onto a piece of parchment paper, well, on a baking sheet that's lined with parchment, and then I spread it out evenly so that it could cool down. Now, you could just eat this the way it is, just break off pieces of it when it's cool, but since I named this sweet and spicy popcorn balls, I'm going to roll mine into balls. The trick is to do it when it's cool enough that you can handle it and it isn't super soft and falling apart from the warmth, but not so cold that it's already kind of hard and difficult to mold, I guess would be what I'm trying to say. I warn you, these are very, very addictive. As I mentioned earlier, we ate the whole batch in 2 days. I have had this idea in my head since last year, but last year I was on crutches and I was just not mobile, let's say, so I really couldn't do it. It wasn't practical, and I have been waiting ever since to do this idea that I had of making kind of these harvest witch ladies of the corn stalk kind of Halloween decoration for the front yard. So I got these paper masks and we painted a few of them, and I went to the market and got some corn stalks, and I didn't actually have a plan of how I was going to get this to stand upright, and my girlfriend suggested that I use our huge recycling bin out front, which I was very, very opposed to in the beginning because it's ugly, but it actually was the best way to keep them standing up. I used some bamboo trellis and stuff like that too, but in the end I ended up tying most of it directly to the recycling bin. And our neighbors have been watching this weird corn stalk monstrosity going up in our front yard for the last couple of days without knowing what it was I was up to. I just looked like a crazy lady tying dead leaves to our recycling bin until this morning when it all came together and finally everybody could see what it was I was working so hard on. I hope the neighbors liked it. I love it. And I heard a little kid exclaim this afternoon as she walked by, "Oh my God, guacamole," which I think is a good thing. Oh, I love it. I think it turned out really, really great. And yeah. We had a ton of trick-or-treaters this year, and that was so fun. I say that. There's still kids coming to the door now as I record these words. So I've been editing out all the doorbell ringing and dog barking in between. But anyways, I hope that you all had a wonderful Halloween, Samhain, whatever you celebrate on this day, if you do. I'll be back soon. In the meantime, take really, really good care of yourselves.